already had a great experience with Sister Edmonds and stuff, so we hope we can add to that this morning, and glad that you're here. So Natalie Monson was asked to teach this class, and she is a mom and an entrepreneur and a registered dietitian. And she was not able to be here today. One of her sweet, courageous friends passed away of cancer, and the funeral is this morning. And so she is not going to be presenting, but I am her mom. I'm Sue Johnson, and this is my daughter-in-law and her sister-in-law, McCall Johnson, and we will be presenting today. McCall.
And she presented this to us, and so we are relaying her wonderful information. But
Yes.
she made the slideshow and the handouts and all of these gems of wisdom that are
Yes.
going to help you make healthy meals in minutes.
Yes.
And also just think about making meals in general for you and your family.
And I was just going to say, McCall is also an accomplished artist and teacher, and she made all these beautiful.
Not a dietitian. Very far from that. Yeah.
And so, but we're glad to be here with you today, and appreciate any comments or questions and that you have to participate. And this class is being recorded. So, all right. Since Natalie is the expert, I'm going to introduce her through this. She graduated from BYU, and she went on to become a registered dietitian. And she was working in the medical field and realized really what she wanted to do was be an entrepreneur. So about 15 years ago, she started a meal planning, nutrition, and recipe business. And because of that, she really has been able to help a lot of families and people and stuff. Natalie has a lot of energy. She loves a lot of things. She loves good food. She hosts parties. She's a runner. She does stuff outside. She likes to grow plants. She just loves to connect with people, and very active lifestyle. So about a year and a half ago, really shocked when she was diagnosed with a rare form of breast cancer. And so she now is cancer-free after going through all of that and back living her great life. So,
Are there handouts?
Yeah, do you want?
I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, would you pass them out? Thank you.
yes.
I did last time. I missed like everyone.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll let them get them themselves. There's a recipe, and then just this is really a gem right here, and this is on the handout.
Yeah, and then we can have the
Takes
recipe
all the guilt away
later.
from
Yeah.
meal planning.
So, yeah. So her motto is "Fed is best," and whatever that is always better than hungry. Fed is best. So sometimes we're kind of hard on ourselves thinking about preparing meals and stuff. If it doesn't look like that little Pinterest dinner, or we don't have, it doesn't seem nutritious to us, or nobody eats it, or whatever, that we're a little bit hard on ourselves. But we know because you're here, you care, and remember, fed is best. And as I look around today, I can see we've got a lot of different stages of life. That maybe you were just cooking for one person or two people, or you're just growing your family with little kids, or have children of all different ages with busy time of life, or maybe the children are starting to leave. But it's always nice to be able to have quick and nutritious meals no matter what stage of life we're in. And as Natalie has given lots of presentations and talked to many people, she's really found that people have a hard time preparing lots of meals for 3 reasons. It's kind of a commonality. One is that I spend all this time cooking and nobody eats it. Another one is I don't know what to cook. And the other one is I'm just too busy to cook. So hopefully we can address those concerns. And does anyone have any other concerns that they would have that maybe we could share ideas with? You don't like to cook, okay.
Sometimes mine too is like, it's so expensive. It's like, make these new recipes.
Yes, so, and hopefully today we can address some of those. So when you, if you were going to go to apply for a job, you would want to know what the responsibilities are. What am I supposed to be doing? What am I in charge of? And what? So this is called the Division of Responsibility with Food, and this was developed by a registered dietitian named Ellen Satter. And this is divide up the responsibility of each one. What is my responsibility and what is my kid's responsibility? So your responsibility is to decide what, where, and when to feed your kids and provide nutritious food, offer meals and snacks, and create a pleasant mealtime environment. So when you break it down like that, it feels a little bit more manageable, doesn't it? And your kids' responsibility is to decide how much they're going to eat and if they are going to eat that food and for the food you provided. So having them have that as their responsibility, that really empowers them so that they can learn their hunger cues when they're hungry and when they're not hungry. And so encourage them to have some healthy relationships with food. So when we just think about our responsibility, what we're going to prepare, when we're going to prepare it, and where we're going to serve it, and create that pleasant environment.
Okay, so Natalie promised me this. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you need a handout. Oh, okay. Natalie said you only need 10 minutes to create a meal plan. She promised me that. I was like, I get distracted by recipes and all of these other things.
Oh, McCall, I realized I didn't
Oh,
say
no.
a few things about
Yes.
that. I'm sorry. Let me just go back before we get too far away.
Sure.
Okay. When you have the responsibility,
I can go back.
yeah, okay.
Okay, you got it.
Of course, we want to have boundaries around mealtime as well, right? And so when you create this environment, and not only when you have are creating this environment, it's a great time. You're not only feeding your body, but you're also feeding your soul. It's a great time for families to connect, to have this mealtime together, and you can just have those connections and relationships. And one of the boundaries that Natalie has set up with her family is they have a little tradition when they have their meals that everybody shares a cherry and a pit. So the cherry is something good that has happened to them, and the pit is something maybe that hasn't been so good for that day. And their boundary is that everybody stays at the table until everyone has shared their cherry and pit. And that has created such a nice connection in their family because you know what good things have happened to each other in your family, and you know maybe something bad happened to somebody that made them sad or disappointed or angry or whatever, and so you know how to help and nurture those. So that is just one way to connect, is to have a little tradition or boundary or whatever, and then after that just is a natural time for them to say, okay, grab your plate and put it in the sink, and have a little responsibilities that way.
And she's also really good about not like saying, finish that, you need to try something. She doesn't talk about the food really at all, unless she was
It's about the
excited about it. But it's
experience.
about like the experience of sitting down and eating together, which sometimes when I have meal times with my kids, I'm totally focused on their responsibility and not mine. And it kind of takes the pressure off of you, or even if you're just single or with your husband, like your responsibility is just what, when, and where. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so my problem is I want to do this, but if my kids don't eat, then they're super grumpy and crying for food literally
Yes.
10 minutes after dinner.
So I talked to her about that because I'm like, what do you do? Like, that's my problem. Or they're like, go in the pantry and like,
Didn't get all the
yeah,
things.
and get all the snacks out. And I'm like, I just made dinner. So what she does is she said they can choose to eat it or not to eat it, and they can have a snack later. Like they have a
Before
snack
their
before they go to
bedtime
bed, and then they can have that snack then. But they can't just go in the pantry and get food.
And
She
then-
does have a friend that has peanut butter and bread on the like side table, and if they choose not to eat dinner, they can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because yeah, sometimes you spend all day, you're like, oh, that was love, I'm trying to share. You're not taking it, but really, like you're providing it, you did what you should do. You should feel good about that. Do you have a comment? No? Okay.
Okay, and sometimes that bedtime routine,
Yeah.
before the bedtime routine, when you have your snack, that will include dinner. Because maybe your children, it's not that they don't like it, it's just that they're not really very hungry. Maybe they've had an after-school snack that's just a little bit too close to dinner, or, they've had a bunch of treats that wherever they've been and gone to a neighbor's house or something. And so it's not that they don't like the meal, it's just that they're not hungry at that time. That helps them to have the hunger cues of
Yeah.
I'm not hungry.
Like if you think about a newborn baby, they you can't make them eat more than they need as much as you want to, so they'll sleep longer. Like they won't. They really won't do it. And we kind of train it out of them by being like, finish that, or
Yeah, you just gotta have 2 bites
try
of
this, like
and then
you
you
kind
can
of create
go.
stress around. But I've already done it, right? So no stress now. We're already here. We've made our decisions. And now let's just try to provide the best that we can, and then they can choose whether or not they take it. So with this 10 minutes, some people were saying that I'll talk about different meal planning styles. Some of you probably already create a meal plan for the week. The first time I ever saw this was on my mission. My companion was making a meal plan for our week so we could go shopping for the week, and I'm like, this is the most amazing idea ever. Like, then we know, like, tomorrow what we're gonna have for dinner. Like, I grew up with a working mom and a working dad, and like Sunday we had a dinner together, but the rest of the week is just like, just find something, you know, and we would, and we were fine, but it was amazing to me. And honestly, that's how you can really save a lot of time and money. Like, the meal plan is how this is done in minutes. Because you're ready, you already know. Let's see. Also with your kids, like my kids are really picky, I feel like right now. Include them in the meal planning. Like, hey, what do you want to have for dinner on Wednesday? And if they all choose mac and cheese, then you could like throw some cauliflower in it or something, or change the kind if you want to. But it's totally fine to have mac and cheese sometimes. So this is like the key to success, Natalie says. Okay, so what is your meal planning style? How many meals do you want to plan each week? We do pizza every Friday. Like, I don't want to cook on Friday. My kids like pizza, so that I know that I do not need to make a plan for that day.
Maybe you're going out to eat.
Maybe you're going out to eat.
Or, you know, or you're making enough that you only want to cook 2 times, so you're going to make enough so that you can have enough meals
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what's your schedule like? Are you going to be gone all day and then get home at 5:30 when everybody's hungry? Maybe you could throw something in the crock pot if you have a day like that, or something that you could just like heat up super fast. How much time do you want to spend cooking most days? So I like to choose 1 new recipe a week because I get just so bored. Making the same things over and over, I get really excited to make something new. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's honestly usually my most expensive meal that is not eaten. But slowly we're getting new recipes that we like. What kind of cuisines or cooking style does your family like best? Like, some people really love barbecue. Like, I know my mom hated stew growing up because her mom made it all the time, but I really love stew because I never ate it, and my kids love beef stew. It's like one of their favorite meals. Okay, so these are different meal planning styles. There's batch cooking. Some of you have probably heard of citrus pear or sage, and I can't remember what it's called in Springville, but they do something like this where you meet together and you make like 12 meals that you can put in your freezer. It's awesome until it's dinner time and you're like, I didn't put it in the crock pot. You know, so that's where the planning comes in.
And yeah, a lot of people do this themselves, that they'll just, you know, make the meals and have like 5 in their meal.
Yeah, and it really
one a week
saves a
or
lot of
whatever.
money, actually. Weekly meal prep. Natalie, if you could see inside of her fridge, when she gets home from the store, she preps all of her vegetables. She rinses her like berries and her grapes in vinegar and water and puts them in a jar, and they stay good. I don't know how long, like 3 weeks?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. It's just a trick. Google it. She's not here to explain it all. I don't do it, clearly. My fridge doesn't look that good, but I want to aspire to be that way.
So I can briefly tell you how she
Yeah,
does that.
she knows, she knows.
just fills her soup cup with
Yeah.
water and puts just a couple of capfuls of vinegar in, lets them sit for about 10 minutes, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, and you can, again, Google whatever. And then she rinses them, makes sure that they're entirely dry, pats them really carefully, and then she puts them in a mason jar with a lid on. And they're all convenient, ready to eat.
She chops her vegetables.
What is that you're putting in the jar?
Like strawberries.
So you just rinse, yeah, after you
Fruit.
rinse it, yeah,
Yeah.
you rinse it off after
So
you
is she doing this
soak
with
it.
vegetables also, or just fruit?
She doesn't rinse her vegetables in the vinegar.
Just berries and
something
grapes.
that doesn't have to be, that you wouldn't, I mean, that you need to wash anyway, like blueberries.
It keeps, I guess it just keeps any
strawberries,
mold, it keeps them
raspberries.
from going bad. I don't know how it
And
works.
as long as they're dry, they'll.
Not a
And
diet.
you put the lid on it?
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
yeah,
she gets like the white screw-on lids, so they're a little bit easier to get on and off of a mason jar.
yeah. You could peel your carrots, cut them up into carrot sticks or chunks or celery or cucumbers or whatever you're gonna have that week with your meals. You can have, the cucumbers are easy to, I mean, those don't last as long cut up, but yes.
Comment here and then back there.
My daughter, she's got 5 kids, and she has a good idea.
Yeah.
She pulls 3 meats out of the freezer and sets them in the fridge, so they are ready for in the week.
Yes, that's so
Because
smart.
when she needs to switch around meals,
They're not
because of a
frozen.
busy night or not, then it's really thawed,
Yeah.
like she can take care of it.
That's really nice, especially with
Yeah.
hamburger. Like, I try in the microwave, like a defrost every time, you know, and it's like chunk of ice in the center. Okay, and back there, was there another comment?
Well, no, I was just wondering, who is this that does all the washing?
Her name's Natalie Monson,
And she's
and you
on-
can follow her. It's like Nat Monson Health on Instagram. Tons of health, nutrition. She has an app called Prepare, and also
Her
Super
meal
Healthy
planning,
Kids is her
and
website
It's
too.
called Super Healthy Kids.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's all over the place online. Yeah, she's really good at what she does. And was there another comment about food prep or your meal planning styles? I know my husband, he has a green smoothie every morning for breakfast, and he'll go to Costco and get all of his ingredients. It's like power grains, bananas, berries, protein powder, chia seeds, and he just puts them in freezer bags, like Ziploc bags. So our freezer's like full of all of his, and he just pulls it out in the morning and makes his smoothie. So it's like, and it's really helped. I mean, I get sick, not a lot, but he rarely gets sick, and I'm like, it's because of your green smoothies. But I also do it sometimes. But also for me, I also think about what I want to have for lunch. Like, because I'm an artist, I don't want to spend a lot of time cooking and getting my lunches ready, but I like to eat really good food. So I'll make something I really like this week it was chickpea, butternut squash, like sheet pan with onions on it. So you like bake it, and then you heat it up and put a little drizzle of honey on it with Greek yogurt. It's like the best thing I've ever had. It's delicious, and I look forward to it. It's really fast. So some people do theme nights, meat-free Monday, ours is Pizza Friday, Fish Friday. Some people will do like a Mexican food night, an Italian food night. I like to do one where we have rice. Like Thursdays, we do something with rice. So, or soup night. I actually kind of like to look at the weather when I meal plan. So I'm like, it's going to be really cold, I want to have soup. Or in the summer, if it's going to be really hot, like maybe we could barbecue that day.
Just while we're thinking about you said about the rice, someone gave a great suggestion.
Oh, yeah.
Last class, she cooks a bunch of rice, and then she just puts it in the serving size that she's going to use and
Yeah.
freezes it. And so then she just has to heat it up. Because sometimes that's the other thing. If rice
Yeah.
is going to take 50 minutes or 30 minutes to cook, go, I
Yep.
better cook something else. I don't have time.
Yeah, and Carly
So-
Hales, she's in our ward, and she said what she does is she goes in her pantry and just kind of sees what she has, and then she makes her meal plan. I should do that. That's really smart. We waste so much food, and if we just kind of saw what we had first, number one, we wouldn't have to buy something again and spend all that money, because really, we're spending 25% more on groceries than we were 2 years ago. You probably noticed that. My husband's always like, you need to spend less on groceries. I'm like, I'm trying to. It's like so expensive. So this is a way to save that money, especially if you're doing things like batch cooking, thinking about what you have, not having to run to the store every time and grab something new. And I love this last part too, seasonal meal planning. I have this quote on this board. It's one of my favorite scriptures. And it says, yea, all things which come of the earth in the season thereof are made for the benefit of man, both to please the eye and to gladden the heart, for taste and smell, and to strengthen the body and enliven the soul. And I love like the changing of seasons. And like I just think like I love to walk out of my kitchen and grab like a handful of mint, which is now spread throughout my backyard. But it's my favorite thing. It really just makes me so happy to have that there. Some of you have gardens, maybe your neighbors have gardens. I know we always have extra produce. Like Sue has planted a beautiful garden in our backyard, and I have benefited from that immensely. So that's something to think about too. You know, like certain times of the season, you're going to be able to find tons of tomatoes, right? Cherry tomatoes, whatever. So you can also base your meals on that, and that also is a way to save money. So look at your calendar, figure out how many dinners you actually want to make. Someone in the last class does this monthly. That's above and beyond award right there. But you could, you know. She said it only takes her 10 minutes too, because she uses like themed nights and just kind of plugs things in. Yes?
Just a quick comment on the monthly thing.
Yeah.
I haven't done this for a long time, but when my kids were young, I did. I would have, say, Italian once a week.
Yeah.
And I would plan like 5 weeks. And then literally that plan I could use over and over.
Oh yeah,
and
because it's
over
5
again.
weeks. They haven't had
Yeah.
that. That's really
That's a
smart.
great
I
idea.
need to do that. It gets overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. And then you could also say like, oh, they really like that. So maybe we'll like do it differently. Like, yeah. Okay, it's okay to start small. Oh yeah, she just said this, like, if you want to eat out a few times, you know, like, don't feel like you have to make a home-cooked meal for your family every night. Like, fed is best, however you're getting there. And we're going to share with you some recipes that make it so easy. It's just like staples from Costco, from Trader Joe's, and then you just add things to it to make it a complete nutritious meal for your family. And it really takes the guilt out of it, and also, for me, like, especially when we travel, this can also go through into like when you're on vacation too, to think about these meals you like that your family likes, so you can just go pick them up from the store and have something. It's for sure going to be cheaper for you to not eat out. Okay, find a place to keep your plan. So Natalie has this really cute thing that's from her kitchen, where her plan lives. Might live in your phone. I got one from Target. I don't know where. Oh, it's right here. I like this one because it also has a grocery list and it has breakfast and lunch, which clearly I don't fill in all the way. I just kind of put the dinners in there. But just to have it somewhere you can see it. I know for, like Marcy Dickerson was saying, you know, she puts it on a paper and then forgets about it when she's, you know, leaves it at home and then she's at the store like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get. So there's also meal planning services. Somebody told me about emails where you can choose the meals you want and then you choose what you already have in your pantry and your fridge, and then it will send the groceries to Smith's, to Walmart. You just go pick up the groceries you need for your meal. So that's, if you're like, seriously, I don't have time, I would do that. That sounds amazing to me.
So something like this, if you have older children especially, that,
Oh, yeah.
and you have the meals planned, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna be home for 20 minutes,
Cute.
would you get, this is what we're having, can you get it started? Or
Yeah.
something, you know, if they know how to do it, or they can just make it, have
Yeah.
it, and so,
And we, like, half my kitchen is a chalkboard, so I just like, I just like write everything on there, which maybe makes it a little chaotic sometimes. Okay, so whatever works for your family is great. And now this is the fun part that Sue's gonna cover,
yeah.
choosing
okay.
your recipes.
Choosing recipes, and we just have so many available now that with anybody, with blogs and Pinterest, all this kind of stuff. So where do you like to get your recipes from? Do you have tried and true cookbooks? Do you do mostly internet? I'm just curious where people get their recipes.
In the last class someone said Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
She's like, they're fast and they like show you what you need. So it like makes it not daunting. Sometimes recipes can be daunting.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed a couple years ago, and my recipes were all over, because you have them in these beautiful books, you pull the beautiful book out, and then you get splattered with stuff. Then it's kind of cute that it's splattered, it has your notes in it, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah, but I had to take and just make copies of everything and then create the slip-in sleeves with the 3-ring binder, because what if my house burned? I'm gonna grab my recipe files. I can't grab everything, there's no way.
Yeah.
And there's some really important ones in there that are important family ones.
Yeah, food is memories. It's connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Good.
Yeah, anybody else?
Yeah, where else
That's
do
a
you get
great
your-
tip. I
I
know
see
some
the
people like
internet
have these
cookbooks.
really pretty recipe files with the little cards in it.
I do like the Instagram people, like, maybe some of you follow the Food Nanny,
Yes.
or there's Amber's Kitchen,
Yep.
there's some Utah people.
Yeah.
Jordan
Yeah.
Page does one that's called Shelf Cooking. and
Yes.
That's what she's all about, is
She's
look
great.
what's in your pantry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie's in that world. I wish she was here. She would like
Yeah.
know everyone. I base mine on how pretty it looks. You know, I'm like, I like that one.
So this is one thing about being able to quickly prepare a meal, is if you know where your recipe is.
Yeah.
And so if you have a system, maybe it's easier for you to have your meals all printed out, so you know, okay, this is Monday's meal, Tuesday meal, and then you're just pulling them out that way. Because it gets a little discouraging if you're just got a few minutes to cook a meal and you can't remember where it was, which cookbook, or you put a sticky note or something. So just to make sure you know where they at, so it won't be scrambling. And then also while you're choosing your recipes, remember to be a little to just review kind of what your week is going to be like. If you have kids in soccer, or you're not going to be home till 5:30, that might be the night that you want to try a new recipe, which ends up taking longer to cook the first time you make something. And so, or maybe you can say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna do the same thing this night as I did this night, or
Yeah.
whatever. So you just, you know, as you're choosing recipes, again, kind of think about your week that you've got going on. And also, what could you double up on? If I'm gonna make a chicken dish here, and I'm gonna have a bunch of chicken left over from that, so I can do it the next
Yeah.
night with this. Or this kidney beans can be minestrone one night, it can be burritos the next night, or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
include the other people that'll be eating, you know, like in the meal planning. You're not alone. Like the other people, if there's other people you're trying to feed, ask them what they would like. I have like these books. I got this at like a white elephant party. Look how dirty it was. It has the best pancake recipe like ever. And my kids love it. They
And they
love
can
when
make it.
And they
The
can make it. Like I
kids,
love when I get this book out because the rest of the recipes, it's like sherbet ice cream and Sprite. It's like the weirdest combinations of things. But that one's really good. And there's also really cute books for children. If you have young kids where they show the ingredients and like how you put recipes together. So it's kind of a cool way to introduce children into baking and cooking and meal preparation. Going along with cookbooks, sorry. Because I am a person who could collect cookbooks. I love them. I just could read them. Like at Barnes & Noble, that's where I am. Yeah. Not because I can
They're
cook
so
well.
pretty.
I just
Yes.
think they're pretty, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, another time saver is the way you make your grocery list. And to organize it by the store, maybe you're gonna need to buy some bulk things, you would go to Sam's or Costco or something like that, or some bigger store that has bigger quantities, and then you need some other stuff. So you've got a couple of different stores you're going to, so you have a grocery list for both of those stores, and then by category. And probably most of you do this already, you divide up, you got your category of the dairy and the meat and the canned, and then you're quickly able to navigate through the store. And also, it's so convenient anymore that if you're really,
I'll start dishing that up.
if you're really busy, then you are maybe just get grocery pickup from one of the stores. So. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I have one thing that saved me. You can tell Alexa to add an ingredient to a list and make a shopping list on Alexa. Everyone probably knows this, but I have a Costco list on Alexa and just a regular shopping. You can stratify, like diversify which one you go to.
That is great, because that is something, if you get to the store and you don't have it on your list and it's a key ingredient, that is, then,
I just started using an app recently. It's called Copy Me That. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. But it has a place where you can basically copy recipes that you found online. Like you can add the URL into it, and then it has all of your recipes together in the app. So you can find them really quickly and easily. And it also has a grocery list there that you can add your groceries to, and it automatically categorizes the food for you. And so then it's just on your phone right there when you go into the grocery store, as well as all of the recipes that you have saved from different websites.
very convenient, very convenient. Was there another comment over here? I see a hand. Okay. So, another way to simplify is that sometimes this does not give a very good halo to buy pre-cut stuff. But it can be nutritious to buy the pre-cooked different things are just as nutritious. And also, if they can be a little bit more convenient, more convenient, but they can also be more expensive. But you can also take the time and do that yourself. Like the pre-cooked brown rice or quinoa, you can do that in a bulk and freeze it. Or pre-mixed salad, you can make your own salad mixes and stuff in advance. But have the convenience of that. Also, have a couple of fallback meals that you know that it's going to be really busy. A lot of people, spaghetti is their fallback meal because they know they're going to have pasta, they know they're going to have some meat, they know they're going to have some a jar of spaghetti sauce. Oh, this is Cole's mom. Sorry.
Put it on your phone.
Oh. Sorry about that. I'll apologize to her later. Yes.
Also, if you double up meals, and because you might need there might be someone in the ward that is sick and they might need a meal. So if you just always have an extra frozen lasagna or something like that, then you just eat
That
it
is
for your
great idea.
and sisters.
Shelley's very good at that. I have one, my problem is I've got veggies. If you follow a recipe exactly, then you've always got an extra bell pepper or half or whatever. I get overwhelmed and I look at my fridge and I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with it. I shut the door. I'm so grateful for Instagram because those ladies on there are just thinking outside the box for you. Rely on them because they're just taking all the veggies from the fridge and roasting them in a pan with olive oil and salt and pepper, and then you're pulsing them through a food processor, and then there's your Asian wraps right there. You could get the wonton wraps, and then you've got everything, and you add a little meat, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Like, they're helpful.
That's great.
So
Thank you.
that stuff's
That's
not going
great
bad
idea.
all the time.
When my green peppers and they start getting kind of crinkly, I just slice them up, chop them up, and put them in the freezer because they're gonna look that way after they've
Yeah.
boiled in a soup anyway. So
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion. Yes.
My kids refuse to eat leftovers, and so I finally figured out that I just freeze my leftovers. And then it's another meal in a couple weeks.
That's a really great idea. That is a great idea. And that just also reminded me that on some of the vegetables and stuff that you might want to offer your kid, like for them to choose, to be able to choose stuff. Maybe they do not like steamed broccoli, but they would love it roasted, or Brussels sprouts. If it's roasted in a little olive oil and then sprinkled with garlic and balsamic vinegar, then, that might be a way that they eat vegetables. And so as you are preparing things that, if they don't like it one way, there's a dozen other ways you can prepare it that maybe that they would like. Yes?
Actually, I was wondering if somebody could help me with something. You're talking about elongating the life of things. I have a Costco spring mix container that's like huge and stuff, and then it gets all, right? Does anybody have a trick for that, just besides the way you put it in and crisper and, is there a trick for that?
So put a paper
Any
towel in it.
suggestions?
Absorb the moisture.
Oh, before you
Just inside,
refrigerate.
when you open it,
Yeah,
stick a
just
paper,
stick
towel,
paper
like,
towels
have
in it.
stick a couple of folded paper towels in
Thank
it.
you so much, I will do that.
Do you put in a damp paper towel or just a dry one? It's dry paper towel? Yes.
I freeze my, I buy the, what is it called? It's the mixed salads, but not salads, it's, oh, come on, now I lost it. My brain doesn't hang on to stuff like it used to.
The stir-fried veggies.
It's the big package of mixed greens, it's spinach and
Like a
all
power
that
greens?
stuff. I used to get it but at the end of the bag, it was always yucky. And so I started putting it in the freezer, and so when it's frozen, all you do is just smash it up into little pieces, and then I can just pour out what I want into my blender to make whatever greeny stuff I'm gonna make for our our smoothie.
That's a great idea, and also to add to soups, you can add the, like spinach or
Yeah, and
whatever
you can stick it in,
yeah.
if you're doing a pan meal with eggs but if I don't do milk and I don't do grains, and so I do a lot of other stuff. Anyway, I can just sprinkle all that frozen greens over the top, put the lid on and let it cook until it's nice and kind of solid, and then serve it up.
Great suggestion.
It's great.
That's great. Did anyone else have something to comment? Okay.
It's just me and my husband.
All right, and this one, yeah, make meals that can work together. Plan your meals so you can use leftover parts of one meal to supplement another. And like you said, if your kids don't like leftovers, then, you can, have baked potatoes one night, and the next night, maybe those become potato soup or something, so that they can work on something else.
Should I bring them out here? Do you think?
Okay, here is we're just about ready. Here is a basic formula for a healthy meal as you're planning. If you always have a protein, a grain, and you can do a fruit and vegetable, or a fruit or vegetable. And you've probably seen these build my plates before, and that's just an easy way as you're planning a quick meal, does it have those 3 or 4 components to it. So, and we have the plate right here. Okay, this is just some healthy meals fast. Happens to be I'm not promoting this cookbook, but it is out of this cookbook. Costco one-stop meals. These are things that you can get there, you could actually get these ingredients at any store in a smaller quantity and do it as well. But where you just have a few main ingredients. We actually made this soup so that you can taste it. This is a chicken Alfredo tortellini soup that I started, the first time I made it, from start to finish was like 15 or 20 minutes, just adding those all things in. That included cutting up the chicken and boiling the broth for the soup.
Answer it, with all of us. Your mom is calling.
Okay. And again, this happens to be Costco stuff, but you could buy this. You could even, like this one has ramen noodles and stuff. You could do your own pack of ramen noodles and thing of frozen vegetables, and you got a nice veggie bowl for that. Yes?
Does that cookbook, does it show that? Does it have lots of those?
It doesn't show it exactly like that, but it's got different little ideas, and you're welcome to look through this for some ideas. Here's some other cookbooks you're welcome to to look through for that too. So, any other meals that you can think of that you could do just like 3 or 4 ingredients and have a meal in 15 to 30 minutes that you maybe do?
First of all, get an Instapot. That will save you so much time. But I love the rotisserie chickens, because if you cut the chicken up, make some gravy, put it over mashed potatoes that you've done in your Instapot,
Oh, yeah.
you've got it right then. It's so good. And then I boil all the bones and get all my chicken broth that I freeze.
Oh, great idea. Yes.
So one of the things we haven't addressed yet, but I wasn't sure if you were going to address it or not, is just looking around the room. There's a few of us that are senior citizens in here, and it's very different cooking.
Yeah.
Particularly if there's 1 or 2 of you.
Yep.
Not only are your amounts different, but what is best for you to eat are different.
Yeah.
So I can't eat, physically or logically, things that are prepared because the sodium content is outrageous.
Yeah.
Or some of the things that are, most of the pre-prepared things and the soups from Costco, you can't eat
Yeah.
them or drink them, or whatever they are.
Yeah.
But I think there's gotta be, just a way for us to be able to have quick and healthy meals that are anti-inflammatory, that are, in general healthy, that are
Yeah.
easy to cook, that don't take a lot of time, and maybe I've learned some tricks, like granted, but I think it'd be helpful if we use some more
Yeah.
things.
You know, that's interesting.
Sue's-
Yeah,
yeah,
because
her
it's
husband
just
are
me and my
super
husband.
healthy
And our
eaters.
eating habits and how we cook is a lot more simple. And like, I would make something like this if I was gonna have company come over or take something, but for just the 2 of us, I mean, that'd be so much food for us, and it's probably not something that we eat. We do a salad almost every day for one of our meals, which is, how quick is that? I already got the veggies and everything prepared, I've got the meat already prepared, and so it's like for lunch, just to throw it together really fast. We do like baked potatoes with cottage cheese, and like we do the protein, I follow this, the protein, the grains,
Here's the plate.
yeah, and stuff, to do stuff. I don't need a lot of sauces on my food, whereas a child to do it might want to have more sauce. Like, to me, to have a piece of chicken is fine, I don't need anything on it. I don't know, because that totally fits in an anti-inflammatory, is to have not have a lot of other prepared stuff, do it just a lot of more simple. We'll do a lot of sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, things like that.
Like if you think about this, like if you grab the meat, let's say you're doing chicken, you can do like ginger, the rice wine vinegar, olive oil, a little salt, and maybe a little bit of soy sauce, and cook it. And then you just see what vegetables you have in your fridge. And you could prepare them in so many different ways, so many delicious ways. Like Alice Waters is a chef that's like she started the farm to table movement in California, and she has some really good, simple recipes. Just nothing is packaged. It's all, maybe the olive oil, comes, everything technically is processed, like we're processing food when we chop it up. But what you're talking about with the sodium content and ultra processed things, yeah, it can take a toll, the sodium, for sure.
Yeah, and
there's ways to
buying
do
a little package of, like buying frozen vegetables and stuff like that, especially for people who, if there's just 1 or 2 of you that you're cooking for, that is a really nutritious way. When they, before they freeze those, they're flash frozen, usually just pretty ripe out of the field and stuff, so that's a really nutritious way to have stuff, and then you're not cooking a huge portion. But, yeah, and there's, most of them wouldn't have any sodium or salt, you can, just read the ingredients on that.
And we also, we were reading when we were trying to prepare for this, that like strawberries, the berries that are frozen are super nutritious, and they're actually way cheaper than buying them fresh. Like I went to Harmon's and bought cherries, then I went to Reams and saw the price of their cherries, and it was like 5 times less what I spent at Harmon's. But I love Harmon's bread. So I want to get, like their sourdough bread, it's so good. So anyway, you can kind of just like shop around. I know Reams sometimes has the best deals on berries.
Yeah.
Like you'll go, it's like $1 for a carton when it's like $7 somewhere else. It's insane. So if Sue's super good, she'll like text us when she finds a good sale at Reams and be like, the blackberries, and we'll like can jam, put it in the freezer. So things like that can help you eat more nutritiously and also keep the cost down.
And here's the comment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna delve in this area, but my sister always says that. She's like, watch Reins, let me know when they're berries.
Reins.
Because she has a freeze dryer and I recently just got one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you could just go get that big amount
Yeah.
of dill and just put it through and
She
it's
does it
so
for us.
nice, yeah.
So I have a
Or
freeze
any
dryer too.
leftovers.
Yeah.
You just
those
dump
are-
it in the Ziploc bag, put them all in when
Yeah.
you're ready.
And it's
Yeah.
so good. Like
Yeah.
what? She freeze dried peaches.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
they're
so good.
And
Yeah.
apples and strawberries.
So
She's the expert there. I just like reap the benefits.
not
of
an
her.
expert.
But
But I
say
like
you
to do
are.
it. Yeah.
No, it's really good.
I have a question about converting your written recipes over to
Digitally?
digital, or just even so that you can send them. Does anybody know a fast way?
So
to do that?
Natalie has an
Like
app
besides-
called Prepare, yeah, but you can kind of like import recipes and it changes them for you. But I think there's a way for you just to take a picture and it can digitize it for you,
Okay.
like all the text.
Oh.
Yeah, like through Google. I'll look at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah.
just
Then
feel
you don't have to like type everything. It just takes a picture and can convert it
It's
into
never been
text.
done because it's such a huge project.
Yeah, but you do want to keep those special recipes. Yeah, somewhere safe. Yeah. I do know also, those of you that use Instagram, you can create your own folders on Instagram to save recipes to, or pictures or whatever. Instead of doing the screenshots, right? That's what like I used to do. So many screenshots of things, but you can never find it again. Yeah.
Well, if I do that, I screenshot it, because it's so easy on your phone, then I quickly just email it to myself.
Oh,
And
that's
just
smart.
underline, I just say what the recipe is.
That's better. Oh, that's so
And
much
then later
better.
when I do my
Yeah.
emails, I just put those in my recipe folder.
Yeah, my friends that have emailed me recipes, that's the easiest way for me to find stuff, because I just like search for the and it pops up. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool, thanks.
I saw that if you screenshot a recipe and you screenshot where the website is, a lot of times, in your pictures, you can just press in your picture, press where the website is, and the recipe will pop up.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know in Google Notes, like I use Google Keep for all my notes, and I can save a recipe in there and it just pulls up the website, which is why my phone is so dirty. My husband's always like, what is all over your phone? I'm like, it's like flour and eggs, like I'm using it for my recipes.
It's a tool for you.
It's a tool, it's totally a tool, yeah. His is like pristine, never been cracked. Yeah. So does anyone have any other questions or do you have any other tips to help the rest of us how to make healthy meals fast?
So in my house we use a website called Happy Forks.
Oh, yeah.
You can put in your recipe and it'll give you like a nutrition label.
Oh, very cool.
So if you ever have anybody that needs like a carb count or
They're
don't know
counting
how much
macros or
fat is
something,
in
yeah.
your recipe,
Very
it's a
cool.
nice website.
Yeah, you can also use, I don't know if any of you use chatbot GBT, but if you put, you could say, I have like a can of crushed tomatoes and some broccoli and chicken. It'll tell you a recipe. Like, what can I make with this?
Say that
It'll,
again. What's the name of that one?
Chat GBT. It's gonna be it's gonna overtake Google. Chat GBT. Chat GBT. It's artificial intelligence, and it's way better than Google, like, for certain things.
Allrecipes.com, you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
GB as in boy, T as in
Yeah, G as in girl, B as in boy, T as in G.
P is in Paul.
Oh, I have it on my phone, but I literally don't really know the name of it.
P.
P is in Paul, yes, thank you. But it's better than, I'm telling you, like, Google's gonna have start. Okay, and the recipe that we made today is actually this recipe, but it's missing the chicken broth. So this is what we made,
oh, yeah,
but
this
the
picture
chicken
is
broth
missing.
isn't actually
Yeah.
pictured, so it's 4 things you're adding, and it's
Yeah.
delicious. So if you wanna cut, or Sue, do you have any closing?
No, but anyway, thank you for all your comments and stuff, and we'll have you try
Yeah,
this. And also on this, I mean, this was a recipe out of this book, but I kind of Googled to see what else, and sometimes people throw carrots into this, or other vegetables, or something. You could just throw a bag of frozen vegetables in it if you wanted more. This has got some spinach.
There's dairy in it.
You could add more garlic, whatever. You can enhance these a little bit, depending on your time and stuff. So.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave it up here if you want to come and just try some. It's really like the broth. Okay, the broth that it makes is really
Yeah, we'll just leave these right here.
Should I try? I'm just gonna keep going. See how far I get. I'm very terrified of spilling this.
Oh, really? Still.